Yes, I know. How you look, how you walk, how you talk, how you smell, how you dress, how you package yourself. These things matter. But when I'm talking about those things, what I'm really asking us to do is to look at how we enhance the substance of what we have as opposed to disguising or faking it altogether. There is an epidemic happening right now where we are literally lying to each other, both in our relationships and in our lives, and we are going above and beyond what we actually have in terms of the substance, the real stuff that we have, whether it's our bodies, whether it's our financial situation, whether it is our careers or our lives in general. We're not enhancing it, we're disguising and faking it. And that is a sure way to not get ahead. My name is Munesi, and you're watching Get Yours. Now, guys, it's a fine line. It's a fine line between enhancing and disguising. So if you look up both words, to enhance is to add on to whatever is already there and to make it either better or to improve it. To disguise is to change the effect and the form and the substance altogether. Now, I'm reminded of a time where we were talking about weddings, and this, it was a couple's session, and this one couple said, I'm lucky that I met this guy because when he came to me, he was real about his financial situation. Because I don't know if you know this adage that a man is only as valuable as his net worth or his bank account, which is, again, the lie that we keep telling ourselves. And a woman is only as valuable as what she looks like, which is also, again, another lie that we keep telling ourselves. So this couple was having an interesting discussion, and they were saying, I'm lucky that I didn't marry this guy. Now, this was the lady who was saying, I'm lucky that I didn't marry this guy when he was coming to court me, and he was using a rented Mercedes, and he was taking me to this restaurant where he was paying it on 30 days, and he was taking me to all of these fancy places, but he couldn't afford it because I was able to see the reality of his financial situation, and I knew that marrying him was a choice that I made because of certain other things that I found attractive that he had. Okay? And the guy on the other hand said, I'm fortunate enough because when I hooked up with this girl, she was as natural as possible. Now I can hear a whole chorus of natural ladies, and I say natural, I mean no makeup, no weaves and the rest of that going on. I'm not discounting that. What I'm saying is, this is just a narration between a couple where this guy was like, listen, at least when I got to the wedding day and it was time for us to say our vows, I knew what I was getting myself into. I knew the substance of who this lady was, because what we do in real life out there is packaging. It's all dressed up, it's made up, it is enhanced. But there are times when it's not just enhanced, but it is fake, it is disguised, it is a completely different expression of what is actually there. And you know what that is? Especially now, I don't know if you guys know, but I'm a lawyer in my past life, and in the law of contract, that is what you call misrepresentation or fraud. All right? It's fraudulent. If you guys disguise yourselves to the point where you completely transform and become another person, where you represent yourself as being something that you are not, where the substance of you is something that is not, you will be found out, guys. It will come out, and nowhere is this more apparent than on social media. We put these images of ourselves and this perception of ourselves to the world that has nothing to do with who we really actually are. And I encourage many of us to not be tempted to go down a path where we are disguising who we really are and becoming things that we are not. But I encourage us to enhance what we already have. So if you are if you're a guy who is on the come up and you're hustling to get yours, you would obviously try and put yourself together and wear nice clothes, put on a nice suit, and maybe for those special meetings, you're going to show up in a car, even if you don't have a car. If you've been used to taking public transport, maybe you're taking a matatu or the bus or whatever. On that particular day, when you're going for a particular meeting, show up in a suit and tie, and maybe that day spend a little bit on an Uber or a taxi or whatever it is, right? That is enhancing. But if you make a habit of it and you start to portray yourself as this person who has this car, who has all these clothes, who is borrowing and trying to keep up this lifestyle that is fake, eventually you will be found out. You know, we've talked about videos where we're living beyond our means, we're not being financially wise. We've talked about self-esteem and how it's important not to compare ourselves to other people. Simply enhancing what you have will make it much easier to revert back to factory settings, if I can put it that way, okay? And your factory settings are the settings that, if you choose to get married to a person, that is what people will see, whether you like it or not. You're not going to be dolled up if you're a lady. You're not going to go to bed with makeup. You're not going to go, in your heels and whatever it is that you're going to be putting on. No, someone is going to see you at what you call factory settings, where things are just completely base and substance, okay? And that you can't fake. So why fake it in the real world and disguise it and become something that you're not, when you know that at some point you're going to have to show the real you and show who you are? It's much easier. The gap between you being able to revert back to factory settings when you need to is going to be much less than if you create this perception and this image that you are something that you're not, because in the event that people come back and see that you're not this person, they will label you as a fraud, and unfortunately it's going to be very difficult to trust you or to put you in to label you as someone who can be responsible and in touch with whatever it is that people require for their own value or their own use. Okay, be useful, be substantial. Don't be fake. Don't disguise it and be something that you're not. By all means, enhance it. And if you want to talk about how to enhance, you can reach me on this channel or on the different contacts that we have. But there's a fine line between not being the real you and being substantial and faking it altogether. Don't fake it till you make it. Enhance it and shine. Thank you so much for watching. I want you guys to subscribe, share, let me know about situations where people have reverted to factory settings and you thought, oh my God, what am I dealing with? I'd love to hear those stories. Remember, this is about you getting ahead. It's 2018. Let's talk about some real stories, and most importantly, all I want you to do is get yours.